At this hour, we're taking a look at Election Day across the Midlands. The polls open at 7 this morning and will close in less than 2 hours. We have team coverage on this Election Day, and tonight our coverage begins with the City of Columbia's race for mayor. Our Kiana Jordan joins us live now. And Kiana, how are things looking at the polls?
Yeah, Freddie, well, I'm here at Dreer High School, one of the precincts here in the city of Columbia, and you do see some students right now, but as far as voters, they've been trickling in slowly one by one. And when I talked to candidates today who they were at some of the polls, they did mention that they felt that voter turnout was a little slow and low today. But I did just go in and talk with some of the managers at this voting precinct, and they tell me so far there have been 410 voters to vote today, maybe a little more because we see some people leaving out, but that's only about 30% of the people here at this precinct voting. Now, there are 3 candidates running for the city of Columbia mayor. That's Daniel Richland, Jessica Thomas, and Wade Fuller. Now, incumbent Mayor Richland is the 71st mayor of Columbia. He's seeking a second term. While in office, some of the biggest moves under his administration has been Rapid Shelter Columbia, addressing homelessness in the city with a rapid shelter, and working to revitalize Finley Park that's set to open later this month. Now, he says he's hopeful that he will win and looking forward to finishing the job. Now, 28-year-old Jessica Thomas is a Spring Valley High School graduate and says her message has been building hope among not just other young people in the community, but everyone. And no matter the turnout, Thomas says she hopes that there will be more efforts to improve voter turnout. And we have Vietnam veteran Wade Fuller also running, and he says he ran because he felt there needed to be a better process for listening and acting on the concerns of taxpayers in the city. More transparency and accountability. Fulmer says despite the outcome, he will support the winner, but hopes the people in the city of Columbia will have a voice. Today, each candidate telling me they learned a lot during this race.
You always hear something new. You know, I think there's opportunity, you learn something. There may be a pocket, or there may be a procedure or a process that we have that really needs to be looked at again. And I heard some of that on the campaign trail.
My slogan is rewrite the possible. I think that's pretty explanatory. You know, it's very unique to see a 28-year-old non-politically involved person just cast their name into the ballot, especially for mayor. So it's just about reminding, especially Gen Z, that it's okay to have hope. It's okay to try something and fail. It's just about trying it.
I'd like to see the system change to, and this is what I've been preaching about, to response, transparency, replies to when citizens stand before them or communicate with them, replies, and accountability.
Now, while Thomas says she's been excited about today and everything that she's worked for, she did mention that there has been some what she's calling unprofessional behavior at some of the polls. She said that people were spreading lies, saying that she had dropped out of the race and that her opponent was going to win. But if you have not cast your vote, you still have until 7 tonight. So please come out if you want to vote. You still have a couple of hours to do that. And we'll have more information about this race for you coming up. Live in Columbia, I'm Kiana Jordan. Watch Fox News, Local First.
All right, Kiana, thank you so much for that. Well, the Columbia at-large race will be between Dr. Oddity Bustles, Sam Johnson, Jared Johnson, and Tony Brown. It is a 4-way race in the city of Columbia for one of the city's at-large seats, as incumbent Councilwoman Oddity Bustles is facing 3 new challengers. Our Mike White has been keeping track of that. Mike.
Freddie, Oddity Bustles finds herself in her first ever re-election campaign for the nonpartisan seat, which she took back in 2021, and now finds herself facing Democrats Sam Johnson, nonpartisan Jared Lee Johnson, and nonpartisan Tony Bowen. And as Election Day is almost over here in Columbia, I sat down with 3 of the 4 candidates to talk about their campaigns and their main objectives if elected. Starting off with Bustles, she says this time around it's all about her track record and what she's accomplished holding the seat these last 4 years, and continuing to show support to policies and programs for good paying jobs, supporting first responders, and making sure there's accountability in government. She adds her main areas of focus include ensuring good paying jobs, affordable housing, and commitment to making city government more accessible to everyone. Democrat Sam Johnson says during his campaign, he's been having conversations about long-standing issues in Columbia, including homelessness and affordability, and how to develop the future. He says if elected, his priorities would include public safety and more affordable housing. And over to candidate Jared Lee Johnson, he says this was a seat he wanted to go for because now was a time he felt was necessary due to affordability issues in Columbia. He also added that he wants to keep fighting for food insecurity in the area, bring more affordable housing, and bring consistent funding for public art.
Most people in Columbia rent. Most people in Columbia have to make tough choices when it comes to their costs. So that's why I'm running, because it's time for the working class to have a voice on city council and a voice that will focus on affordability.
They wanted someone like me that will always have Columbia's back. And I think that I have shown that over the last 4 years through all of the various initiatives and work that I've done. And so that does make me the best candidate, because I truly am about the people, not party politics, not establishment politics.
When I think about all the intangibles that make a great city, somebody who's already served on the U.S. Conference of Mayors Board, somebody who runs a firm that is focused on municipal government, all of that lets me start the job day one ready.
Now, Watch Fox News did reach out to Tony Bowen, but he did decline to speak to us. Polls are set to close at 7 here in Columbia, and we'll keep you up to date with the polls and results for the at-large seat on Watch Fox News at 10. Reporting in Columbia, Mike White. Watch Fox News, local first.
All right, Mike, thanks for that. Well, today voters in Lexington County are headed back to the polls for a runoff in the race to fill vacant House seat in District 88, previously held by R.J. May. Our Megan Gagnon is live outside of the Kittiwake Baptist Church, one of the several precincts seeing a strong voter turnout today. Hey, Megan.
Hey, Friendy, yeah, the polling manager here tells me that for a special election, there was definitely more voters than anticipated today, with White Knoll and St. Davis precinct combined seeing nearly 500 people come out here today so far. Those polls are still open, so the numbers are expected to increase. Now, these voters are deciding between two Republican candidates to face Democrat Chuck Hightower to fill the remainder of R.J. May's term in the State House. Now, the two Republicans, Brian Duncan and John Lastinger, are both born and raised here in Lexington County and have been campaigning on conservative values. Lastinger, a pastor, and Duncan, a veteran and businessman, are looking to win the Republican nomination in the House District 88 race. The special election comes after now ex-lawmaker R.J. May pleaded guilty back in September to 5 counts of distributing child sex abuse material, with authorities identifying 62 known victims. Now, May's resignation left the seat open in the middle of his term, setting off a series of special elections to fill it. Now, the winner of tonight's runoff will go on to face Democrat Chuck Hightower in the December 23rd special election to serve the remainder of May's term at the State House. Polls once again closed in just a couple of hours at 7, and results are expected to come in shortly after. I also spoke with both candidates earlier today, and they told me that they're focused on the turnout and they're expected to speak more once the results come in. In Lexington, I'm Megan Gagnon, Watch Fox News, local first.
Megan, thank you for that. Well, tonight's Swansea mayoral election is between Doris Simmons and Jerome Williams. The town of Swansea is voting for a change in leadership in a town that has been plagued by financial issues. We're checking in with our Bralise Pimentel about how the town council and the mayor's race is turning out. She's live in Swansea. Hey, Bralise.
Voting officials tell me 482 people are registered to vote here in Swansea, but so far just over 100 people have shown up. Candidates tell me this is an important election that's going to need the community support for change to happen. Voters here making their way to Lexington 4's alternative school voting precinct for Election Day. The town of Swansea is up for a new mayor with just 2 candidates in the race. Councilwoman Doris Simmons and Councilman Jerome Williams are both aiming to get Swansea back on track. 2 council seats are also up for grabs in the election. In District 1, Linda Butler and Angie Alley are in the race, and Melissa Williams for District 2. Candidates for mayor tell me this is an important election with several issues in the town. Swansea lost their police department recently, and people who live in the area are demanding financial transparency and communication moving forward. Here's what the candidates for mayor say they'll do if they're elected.
First, I'm going to have to go in and find out where our finances are. I'm going to need to find out where we stand money-wise, what's planning on coming in, what we have to work with. That's the first thing. When I do find out information, it will be shared with the council members. We will jointly make an effort to decide what we need to do going forward and how we need to handle what we need to handle and what order it needs to be handled in.
With me, accountability and just transparency, and then trying to unite Swansea. And I think the biggest issue with the problems is don't let outsiders, corrupt your minds, ask questions. I just like to see Swansea come together as one.
There's still time for people to cast their votes. The polls are closing at 7 here at the Lexington 4 Alternative School. In Swansea, Barlise Pimentel, Watch Fox News, Local First.
All right, Barlise, thanks for that. Well, the key from voting officials every time the polls are open is voter turnout. And it tends to be lower in these local level elections. Our Brian McConkey is tracking that part of the story. He joins us now. Brian.
Hey, friendy, the old saying goes, all politics are local. So that's why city and county levels like these, like most on the ballot today, are so important. These are the elected officials who ultimately decide how our roads get fixed and vital services like police and fire services are funded. But if early voting, which closed on Friday, is any indicator in this election, these municipal votes across the state aren't moving the meter much. The turnout percentage in the early voting period was in the mid-single digits. It's larger races like governor and president that really motivate people to get out there and make their voices heard. Until all the votes are tallied, though, we won't have an idea of whether the overall turnout today does, in fact, break double-digit percentages, but probably not likely. But we don't want to say that's certain. Mayoral races in larger cities like Columbia and Myrtle Beach might get more people to the polls, but that's a wait-and-see situation until that last vote is cast. And do keep in mind, not every city and municipality did have votes today, so that skews the numbers as well. But 2 hours left, less than 2 hours left to vote if you haven't done that yet. As long as you're in line before 7 tonight at your polling location, you will be allowed to cast your ballot. Friendy, back to you.